Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Face to Face Corporate Series. Friends, in this corporate series, we introduce to you emerging corporates from very interesting businesses and where long-term growth prospects are very good. And we get the promoters of the company to talk with you to understand their company's operations better. And today, friends, we have got a very interesting company by the name of Shri TechTex Limited, and we have Mr. Hans Kumar Ramakant Agarwal, who's the promoter of the company. Hansji, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time today. And we are pretty sure that you will give us very good information which will help us all our viewers to understand your company better.
Thank you, Mr. Avinash, for having me here.
Yeah.
I'll give a brief introduction of our history. So I was born and raised in Ahmedabad, and I was part of a textile trading family who was associated with the Lalbhai Group since 1960s. My father, Mr. Ramakant Agarwal, started Shri Jagdamba Polymers in 1987 with a small capacity of 60 tons. And this plant was mainly to make the cement and the fertilizer bags for the packaging purpose. I joined my father in 1997 in the same business, but with a view to take this domestic business to the exports. And we started the same bag business into US and Europe. But while going there was a huge underlying opportunity of technical textiles into Europe and USA. And it was already a very mature market for the technical textiles for polypropylene woven products. And that is where we started our technical textile production for the woven products in Shri Jagdamba Polymers in 2001 with the end user applications of building construction industry and landscaping industry. From mere capacity of 60 tons, the group now started building more capacities into polywoven sites, and we reached around 2,000 tons per annum in 2010. There was a very new opportunity in the same technical textile for the polypropylene non-woven fabrics, which again goes for the similar applications. And that's where we started our company Shri TechTex. It was all. So this company was formed in 2021 with with installed capacity of 3,600 tons per annum. And the main products was polypropylene spunbond fabrics. The end use of these products were used as waterproof membranes into building construction, and the similar kind of applications were also in fabric was very much used for the mask and the PPE kits.
Okay.
So that has been the journey for Shri TechTex till now, and we are using around 85 to 90% of the installed capacities. Now we have a new emerging market in the similar kind of products, which are multi-filament yarns and filter fabrics, plus waterproofing membranes, which are again made from the technical textiles. So that is the current IPO what we are trying to raise money from for this future expansion.
Okay. हंस जी, मेरे को और एक बात बताइए कि हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट मिक्स है इसमें सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन कौन से प्रोडक्ट से आता है? If you can tell us what is the major product which contributes to your top line?
Sir, right now we are making PP non-woven fabrics. That is our current product, which would be around 80% to 90% of the total sales of the current organization.
And you mentioned something about technical textiles. This is a very emerging kind of product, as you rightly mentioned. So,
Yes.
Sir, इसका कितना potential market size होगा, or how can the company benefit going forward? If you can give us some color on this.
Sir, technical textile is a very huge term where there are at least 20 to 25 different products. The products what we are working with is polypropylene non-woven fabric, which I would say is a global $2 to $3 billion industry.
Okay.
The second product what we are trying to launch is the waterproof membranes, which is just in the US is around $100 million per annum. The third product what we are trying to do is the multi-filament yarns and the fabrics that is close to 50,000 tons per annum. So those are the global market sizes what is already being established.
Okay. And as far as the domestic market is concerned, हंस जी, क्या growth market होगा? Like ये तो आपने global market के बारे में थोड़ी जानकारी दी, but if we talk about the domestic market, how big is the opportunity for us in the next say 3 to 4 years?
The domestic market for the spunbond fabric is already well established. During the COVID times, there was a huge application for the mask and the PP kits. But now that has been going down as since we are coming out of the COVID. But there are many other applications emerging for it, and those are we have already been started working for a newer application for riverbank stabilization, where we protect the riverbank with making bags from this kind of fabrics. The waterproof membranes, what we are launching, that is going for waterproofing on the building houses all over the country, which is a very new product, and the growth size is tremendous.
Okay, understood. Hanji, now tell me one thing in terms of your, active customer base. If you can give us some idea, if you can share some names, or maybe if you can tell us what is the total active customer base. हमारा customer base कितना बड़ा है as of now?
So what our entire market setup is that we have appointed distributors into US, into Europe, into India. And primarily, we are working with 5 to 6 distributors who are associated with the organization since last 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
We have a joint marketing approach where we go to the end users along with the distributors. So these are the 5, 6 distributors who are very much cooperative, and we are doing hand in hand business since last 10 to 15 years.
Okay. So Hanji, you mentioned about export market. So export market पे क्या ज़्यादा focus रहेगा? Will the company be focusing largely on the export market also? If you could tell us something on that.
Yes, our major end use market is United States, which is very active into usage and application of such technical textile products.
Okay.
So marketing to US will be always a key priority.
Okay. And this market is, as you said, it's a very large global market. So there's huge opportunity for growth, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Now tell me one thing, Hajiji, now when we manufacture these products, you may be having a lot of SKUs, as you said, there are many, varieties of technical textiles. Tell me one thing, that how is the pricing for these products done? Is it dynamic or is it basically order driven? बीच में अगर आपका raw material का cost बढ़ गया, do you get a kind of pass through for your, final product, or is it a fixed contract? I was just wanted to understand how do you price, your products across the different categories.
So coming to the SKU part of your question, currently we have 2 or 3 SKUs in the current range of PP spunbond fabrics, and we are adding 2 or 3 more SKUs with the new expansion.
Okay.
So a new SKU is a new product which comes with a new technology and a new expansion. So after the expansion, we'll be having around 5 to 6 SKUs.
Okay. Okay.
Coming to the pricing part, it is all made from polypropylene. So, and the cost of polymer is a basic cost of the entire product.
Okay.
And the cost of the polymer again depends on the global oil pricing, demand in polymers, and all our pricing is based on a polymer index price, which is the Platts. Again, the Reliance, who is our major supplier, so they also base their pricing on the Platts. They have their pricing every 15 days, but we price our customers every 30 days or 45 days. So in that 30 to 45 days, it's a fixed price, and the change comes depending on if there's a major movement in the polymer price, we change the price maybe up or down. If it's within 2 to 3%, we just try to keep the price as constant as it is.
Okay, now Hanji, you mentioned about your expansion plans. If you could tell us something about your expansion plans, what exactly is the company planning to do? And the second question would be that I believe the company is planning an IPO. So इसके बारे में भी थोड़ा सा, if you could give us some information for our viewers.
So for the expansion, we are planning to install machineries for 2 new products. One is the waterproof membrane. It shall be a coating line which will be using the same non-woven fabrics, but will be coating with some specialized adhesives and polymers, which will be used in the it will be used for waterproofing applications into house construction, building construction, and many other similar applications. And this is a product which is not very much into India right now. People are using liquid adhesives, and then they are putting some secondary membranes to do it. But this will be a single step solution to such application. Okay. Coming to the US market, this application is very common from last 3 to 5 years. It's a very matured market, and most of our distribution channels have a place for this product to just go in. So once the product is set, we get the approvals, we have the ready market for it.
And Harshji, if
And
you tell us on the IPO, what is the kind of plan for the IPO? Any details which you can share with us?
yes, so the major, we are planning to do raise of IPO for around 45 crores. And the major IPO proceeds will be going towards machinery expansion. We are building up a new factory shed. We are also planning to install a solar power plant, which
Okay.
will bring down our electricity cost, which is again a big
Yeah.
input in our costing.
Okay.
And because the polymer, we have to carry a stock of at least 50 to 70 days of polymers. We are in need of more working capital. So some of the proceeds will go to the working capital requirement.
And what is the final issue price which has been finalized for the IPO? If you could tell us.
It's in the range of 43 to 45 crores,
Okay.
the
This is
total
the,
issue size.
this is the issue price per share, right? 40 to 45.
The price band is 55 to 61.
Okay. Price band is 55 to 61.
Yes.
Now, Hansji, tell me one thing in terms of the competitive landscape. Competition to har segment mein hota hai. Now, in our
And
industry, in the domestic market, do you have any listed peers who are also doing the same product, or do you compete with unorganized sector only? If you could tell us, something on this.
there are two or three listed players. One is Garware Wardrobe, who is into a similar kind of segment into technical textiles and similar products.
Okay.
One more company is TechFab India, which is a part of Jacob Limited. So they are also part of a similar product group. There are many unorganized sector which do not compete with us in the US market because it's a very high volume market and we have an entire distribution channel set up. But we do face the competition in India with the non-organized sector.
Okay.
But then because of the group's huge polymer buying capacity, we get very good discounted polymer prices from overseas and Reliance. And secondly, we have established ourselves again as a brand name with the distribution channel. So that gives us an edge above the competitors.
Okay. So indirectly, Hansji, I can say that because your quality, your brand is good, your competitive raw material pricing is good, you have a significant edge as compared to the other competitors. Is this thinking right from my side?
Yeah, this is correct. And if we come to the overseas market, we have all these products because they are used in the technical applications. Everything is backed up by laboratory certificates, which we are already carrying it for last 3 to 5 years, which is not very easy for everybody to go and get certified and get your product approved. So that is also edge over the competitors what we have.
And Hanji, if you could give us some flavor on the financial year, that is FY23, if you could give us some data points on your sales, on your profit after tax, although this data is available, but if you could give us in a very small way, what was the revenue, what was the profit you earned, for this current financial year like?
March 23, we closed at 57 crore approx top line with a 9.5 crore PAT, which comes around 15 to 16% of PAT.
Okay.
This year we are foreseeing a growth of around 30 to 40%, including the new products which we are starting to produce by October. So I would see anywhere financial year 23-24 to end by 81-82 crores. And again, we are trying to get a similar percentage of PAT on the top line.
I mean, currently just wanted to understand, Hansji, on the raw material side, you said polypropylene is the main raw material. So on that front, do you see the raw material prices stabilizing? They are comfortable now, so no major volatility expected, at least in the next, at least 3 to 6 months.
But as polymer is a global commodity, so the pricing again depends on the global supply and demand. And if we see the last 8 to 10 months, it has been very stable. I see next 3 to 5 months going very stable. And again, it depends on the geopolitical tensions going around. And again, the main driving force is the oil price because it's a petrochemical product. So that the ups and downs of the oil prices would derive where we see the polymer.
Okay, fine. And now one more thing which I wanted to understand is now, post COVID, everything has become normal. The COVID pandemic was a kind of a very one-time natural event. On the ground, Hanshi, demand कैसे लग रहा है? Like end user segment से, on ground, if you could, share some signals for us कि demand pan out domestic market में कैसे हो रहा है? Global का market का तो, you mentioned to us. But on the domestic side, are you expecting demand to grow in double digits at least for the next 1 to 2 years, considering that your product is a niche product and there's a huge upside potential going forward?
So post-COVID, we are operating our plants at 85 to 90% capacity. And we could do that in 21, 22, 22, 23. In current year also, we are planning to do the same. So as per the demand, I don't see there's much more change in our product. Even if I talk about the end user market, the demand is still there. It was only that because of the COVID ups and downs, there was an inventory pile up. There were some issues for shipping the goods. So those had been all, the entire supply chain is also getting very normalized. So I would not see much of an issue coming forward.
Okay. And Hansi, normally in our business, हमारे धंधे में working capital cycle कितना बड़ा होता है? Like what is the normal working capital cycle both for domestic as well as for exports?
Sir, we pay to the polymer guys in immediately between 2 to 5 days. So we don't get any credit on the polymer front.
Okay.
The processing cycle is, I would say, at least 15 to 20 days.
Oh.
And if we ship to India, to US, the shipping time is 30 to 35 days. So
Okay.
if we talk about US, the entire working cycle would be 10 to 12 weeks. And same for India, it comes down to 8 to 10 weeks.
Okay. And normally, Hanshi, do you have to store some inventory in your system? Like आपको inventory थोड़ा सा ready रखना होता है basically to cater to your production. So normally, how many months of inventory do you keep normally in your, in your system?
Sir, our entire sales and production is made customized as per the order. So we don't put any inventory on the finished side. But
Okay.
yes, we do have an inventory of polymers. Depending again, if we have the polymer is low, we do keep inventories up to 3 to 4 months. But if the polymer is decreasing, that inventory goes down to 15 to 20 days.
Okay. Understood.
But the only inventory we carry is for the raw material, nothing else.
Harshji, now one more thing I wanted to ask you. You all are making a public issue of shares. So, what is your thought process? How would you be rewarding the shareholders in the longer term? Thoda bahut, what is your vision? As a promoter, you have done very well. But as far as, public shareholders who would be joining your family now, in what way in the longer term, will this company actually reward them? If you could give some idea.
Sir, we are already growing company since last few years. And with the new products being a part of expansion, I would see that we are crossing 100 crore top line by 25, 26. And then we are planning for further expansions based on the market research and market studies in 25, 26. But I would see that we are planning to grow year on year at least 10 to 15% post 25, 26 also.
Okay.
So I would like to thank all the shareholders who will be a part of our family, and we will make sure they are a part of our growth cycle.
Hanshi, what is the total employee size in terms of both the admin as well as the factory workers? कितना होगा हमारा total employee base?
Total right now is around 86 people.
Okay.
And with the new expansions, we are trying to add at least more than 30 to 40 people minimum. So I would say in next 2 years, we will be crossing 150 to 200 people.
Okay. Last question, Hansji. In every business there is some risk attached. In our business, सबसे बड़ा risk. What is the risk in our business, and how well prepared is our company in terms of risk mitigation? If you could share that with us.
So the biggest risk I would see is the polymer pricing, because that is the main cost to our end product.
Okay.
And the way we are pricing our entire product and the supply chain is a delta which is being added on the polymer plants. And we give our customers a window of 1 to 2 months to not to get the prices immediately. We give them a buffer window, and that is what has been it's very much acceptable to them.
Okay.
The second issue, what I see is the geopolitical situations in Europe and the Indo-US political ties, which again depends on what kind of duty structures we have into US, which are very favorable for us today.
Yes.
So those are the few other point of concerns if they might be there.
Okay. So anyway, Hansji, I think thank you very much for this really great interview. In fact, friends, we could understand a lot of the company's operations, from Mr. Hans, very clearly and very nicely explained by him. So Hansji, मेरी तरफ से congratulations to you, your management team, and best wishes for your IPO. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.